Hey, what's up ladies and gentlemen, it is I am the one and only Maxi here, and I am of course back for yet again for the likes of the Maxi Toys videos, and oh jeez, it looks like Mario is still sleeping, despite the fact that we've only got about 5 more power stars left, but we've somehow woken up regardless of anything else. So, yeah, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for some more Let's Play of Super Mario 3D All-Stars. Specifically, whenever we played the Super Mario 64 game for the Nintendo Switch. So, last time we have managed to able to 100% through everything in terms of TikTok clock, and also we did the halfway point in terms of the forms of, or should I say, the first half of the forms of, well, Rainbow Ride, despite the fact that I did manage to die quite a few times, specifically with that infamous 100 coin Power Star mission on that particular world. But aside from all that stuff though, and also say applies to the forms of TikTok clock sometimes, so today, this will be the finale portion in terms of Super Mario 64 game on the Super Mario 3D All-Stars compilation. So, yeah, let's get to it for the likes of the continuation of Rainbow Ride. And here we go, on to Swinging in the Breeze. In this case, the 4th mission that we're about to be participating in for. So, at the very least for the next 2 missions, it's actually going to be super duper quick, but, well, except for the last one, because, well, obviously that it requires the exact same method as in the forms of in the very first mission in the game, which is, of course, you need to able to take a lot of, you know, rides with those magic carpets specifically, but, I'm sure we'll get this, so. Anyway, today's day is of course the 24th of January today, in this case in 2022 today, so there's quite a few things I would like to discuss upon, but I'll save that until whenever we get into, well, let's just say the last few missions in the game, so either way though, let's just go ahead and avoid that flamethrower, because if you somehow dare touch the flamethrower, basically though, there is no way you can able to actually decide able to, well, get rid of it, unless if you're able to run about and stuff like that, which I honestly have no words to able to mention about that stuff though, but anyway. Mission number 5, Tricky Triangles, which basically we need to go into the exact same way as before from the likes of the 4th mission, except now we need to take a different route in order able to actually do the actual, well, Tricky Triangles mission. So either way though, yeah, let's just get this thing to it. So, although originally, like I said before, I was expecting if I was trying to able to mention something about, oh jeez, that was actually really close. Anyway, because I was gonna able to try to mention something related to Mario Kart Tour, but honestly, I feel like I'm about to give up on that game. Well, not just yet though, because as far as what Ray the Flying Squirrel technically mentioned something briefly ever since in Mario Party 7 in Neon Heights board. Basically though, they will say that there might be a next Mario Kart rumored game at some point, specifically maybe on this year or next year potentially, because one thing I suppose that Ray the Flying Squirrel, including myself, have never mentioned about this at all, including buddy forms of Sonic Colors Ultimate for the sake of Sonic the Hedgehog. Basically, in addition where, you know, Kirby is getting the 30th anniversary, and dang it, I keep thinking about the forms of the simple, easier, quicker version of that particular trick, but I somehow messed it all up at all times. But hopefully we'll just keep trying anyway. Plus, the actual destination is not too far, unlike, you know, the first mission and the second mission, so yeah, that pretty much summarized as such. So, anyway, and I suppose another thing I should probably explain about this, although, what was I trying to say before? Oh yeah, in addition when Kirby is getting its 30th anniversary this year, which as a result, that HAL Laboratory has promised that, so in this case, that's a good thing. And I gotta say that despite the fact that it only includes, well, in addition to the forms of, well, I'll explain more details about that later, because either way though, I'm probably not gonna mention things too early as far as whenever there's not much else I can speak about, until whenever we get into the forms of certain missions I always have struggled with, but anyway. So here we go, on to the last mission on Rainbow Ride, and that is Somewhere Over the Rainbow. So in this case though, we need to do exactly the same thing as the first mission, except that you know how the fact that we've somehow managed able to talk to Bob Buddy, ever since whenever we done the 100 coin Power Star mission, well, we need to find him, even though mind you we've already did, and that way we can able to actually access the cannon. So which the cannon will pretty much lead you to, you know, the rainbow ring you have to go through in order to actually go into that peculiar island. So, yeah, that's as far as I can usually try to explain about that particular mission objectives-wise. So yeah, I can't even believe that we're pretty much almost nearly at the end, or should I say, towards straight to the very end in terms of Super Mario 64 for the sake of the forms of, well, Super Mario 3D All-Stars compilation so far for this entire giant Let's Play of any sort. And because of that, though, after we're done with that, then we can basically moving on to the forms of the second game in terms of the forms of the entire compilation of Super Mario 3D All-Stars, which appears to be Super Mario Sunshine. But like I said this before, ever since and during the course of on, Friday and stuff like that, which as a result though, unfortunately though, the continuation of this particular entire Super Mario 3D All-Stars compilation game is going to be delayed. Well, to be more specifically, the Super Mario Sunshine portion of the game is going to be delayed until on the 1st of June, like I said, so there's no point able to actually repeating that cycle. So as a result though, because I'll let some other toys can able to actually mention about the forms of other topics until whenever they get into other Let's Plays. So yeah, but stay tuned for that until specifically, I think there's going to be one coming up at some point on Wednesday after we finish this particular Super Mario 64 game on 3D All-Stars compilation first. So anyway, so let's go ahead and hop onto that particular hole for that cannon. So, and this is where it gets pretty tricky though, because you get out to able to aim right where the pole is. So in this case though, that should be a good angle. And there we go. And also we need to avoid that particular chuckster kind of enemy right there. And because of that though, if you get caught by him while he able to actually tosses you in any other angle, and if you fall off, you have to restart the entire process again with all that magic carpet rides and everything. So yeah, that's usually about it. So, and that pretty much wraps it up for Rainbow Ride in general. So now we're done with that. So let's go ahead and move on to the next obstacle course level, which appears to be, well, I want to classify for saying Winged Mario with red coins. I think that's what the actual mission itself is called. Although, mind you, let me know in the comments below, because even then though, it has been about a year ago, technically speaking, at least if you want to count the DS remake, that it has been about a year ago since I actually experienced this stage, because obviously with 2 missions has been added for the sake of, well, one of them is normal and then the other one exclusive to the remake. So anyways, let's go and activate the cannon, which we've already did. Now I think this might actually be the last time, unless if we really want able to see what really happens if we somehow manage able to obtain all 120 power stars in the game. So either way though, in fact, I want to classify doing something a little bit differently when it comes to the forms of this particular scene, what really happens if you do manage to collect 120 power stars in total. I might actually save that up until whenever we get ourselves the final power star in the game. Mind you, I'm probably not going to take down Bowser anytime soon, because obviously we need to take care of the forms of, well, other things first. So in this case though, yeah. And yeah, what was I trying to say? So yeah, in addition with the Kirby's 30th anniversary has already existed, and I gotta say, despite it actually contains a pretty cool wallpaper, which from the look of that imagery, by the way, I will say it does look pretty cute, and also pretty fascinating at the same time, because I know for the fact that it's been about almost 5 years ago since we last seen the Kirby anniversary stuff, ever since in 2017, where it does have a pretty cool artwork from the likes of the actual 3D kind of cube vibe to it or something like that. And also it's been about 10 years ago since when well, they've obviously managed to make Kirby's Dream Collection, which is only exclusive to the forms of the Japanese and the American releases. So in this case though, I still have no idea why. That game never saw light of day in Europe, very much like the forms of Super Mario or Mario Super Sluggers as the baseball game. I'm sure to you because of the forms of how the fact that, well, I think this might be something to do with the forms of Kirby Right Back at You show or something like that. Although, mind you, I haven't actually looked upon the forms of Kirby's Dream Collection for donkey's years. Mainly because, well, I was more into the forms of, well, let's just say the Mario compilations or Sonic compilations. So, either way though, like, for instance, Super Mario All-Stars, that usually came out on the Super Nintendo, and Nintendo Wii back in 2010, and also Sonic Jam, and well, Sonic Jam was on the Sega Saturn in 1997, and also Sonic Mega Collection, the best Sega of the Sonic compilation games ever in my opinion, and yeah, I think that's about it. So yeah, talking of which, when it comes to Kirby in general, that during that particular year for this year in 2022, we actually got ourselves not only new info in terms of the forms of Kirby and the Forgotten Land, but also a new release date that's going to be coming out, which, as to be expected, it's going to come out in some point in this spring, and it turns out one of those leakers is actually true. So they did mention something related to the fact that, well, that game in particular, Kirby and the Forgotten Land, it will be expecting to be released on the forms of the 25th of March this year, and turns out it was accurate. So in this case though, yeah, I'm actually really surprised to see how that particular game is going to get ourselves the actual release date like that. Seriously, out of all the actual Kirby games by to this point, specifically, I think the last time that the Kirby games, one of those Kirby games, didn't manage able to came out during in springtime, I think the previous one they did done for that particular release release date schedule, it was by the forms of Kirby Star Allies for the Nintendo Switch back in 2018. So in this case though, despite the fact that the post-launch for the game is actually a little bit more, I don't know, kind of bare bones sometimes. Well, I don't mind the game though, but it's just the fact that with the lack of difficulty might actually bother some challenging players, So anyway, let's just go ahead and, oh no, I think, yep, I failed. I think to me though, this is without a doubt the hardest mission in the whole entire game in my opinion, just because, well, if you somehow fell off in the entire stage, and then basically though, that you get kicked out and you'd be forced to go all the way onto the outside portion of Princess Peach's castle, so, I hate when that happened right there. But I guess we'll just have to keep trying, I suppose. But it's just, it kind of feels like an annoying existence sometimes for the sake of, you know, if you keep failing on that specific mission alone, then, although luckily you can't lose lives, which I guess is a good thing, well, it wasn't until whenever we get into the actual final stage in the game, which is of course Bowser in the Sky. So in this case though, we'll have to be able to save that for later. So, anyway, so yeah, that game is about to come out on the likes of 25th of March, which, conveniently enough, that will come out in exactly the same day, specifically in the UK version of the game, in addition to worldwide releases, both Japan and North America as well, and that particular release is going to come out during the exact same time as in the 11th anniversary of the Nintendo 3DS existence. Well, to be more specifically, the UK version. So because of that though, well, mind you, about the fact that it will be 2 days before the 11th anniversary of the North American's release of the Nintendo 3DS, and mind you, the Japanese version has already, well, the Japanese version of that 3DS handheld was already out from the likes of the 11th anniversary treatment, so, and I think that was also around that time where, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm presuming it's more accurately like a few days, jeez, I know it has been such a long while since I actually mentioned something related to My Little Pony Friendship is Magic stuff, but I'm guessing in one of those episodes in particular, like specifically in Season 2, that I think Hurricane Fluttershy was actually going to be, I would say 10-year anniversary of that episode during around the same time, almost, from the likes of Kirby and the Forgotten Lands release or something like that. Although, mind you, it has been about a couple of days ago since I actually watched something related to My Little Pony Friendship is Magic, because mind you, that I still haven't heard from anything from the likes of some more infos on Generation 5 stuff just yet. But I'm very curious to see what that's going to bring us into. So, someone who's playing Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. So, yeah, speaking of that game, actually, in roughly about a few days ago, actually, well, what should say, 10 days ago, that I somehow managed to able to get even more spirits, thanks to the forms of some spirits based off from Street Fighter, and those are either Ryu and all the other characters in general, which I honestly have no comment about, but luckily I did manage to able to get all of those spirits for now anyway. Well, because I was expecting originally that Aqua from the likes of Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep as a spirit, it was supposed to be able to be the final spirit in the game, but it turns out it isn't, so I'm guessing it's more likely they're trying to able to base off some of these spirits from the likes of, I would say from the likes of Hyper Street Fighter 2, the final challengers from the likes of the Nintendo Switch game exclusive. So, because I'm pretty sure that game is now, well, almost 5 years old at this rate, so yeah, I was pretty shocked to see that coming. Well, mind you, I've already obtained all of those spirits already, so... And aside from that, I think I'm basically pretty much gonna have to take a break on Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, and God knows until when the next new spirits is about to be up, or they're basically done, for now, so... But then again, though, it's all about speculations again, so, well, mind you, DLC is already finished, so, yeah, it's just a matter of the forms of, well, in-game maps, and also say it applies to, the spirit boards themselves, but, we'll just have to wait and see. So, anywho, and, yeah, let's talk about the forms of the new info for the likes of Kirby and the Forgotten Lands. Well, I've already mentioned about the forms of the release date of that game already, so let's get into the other stuff they've obviously mentioned. First of all, they actually include the co-op aspect, very much like the forms of how it does it on, well, any other Kirby games in general, at least ever since in, you know, Kirby's Return to Dreamland, and, also applies to Kirby Star Allies, and there's also Kirby Superstar for the Super Nintendo, and also Superstar Ultra as a remake on the Nintendo DS, and yeah, I think that's as far as I can try to mention about that. Oh, and also Kirby and the Rainbow Paintbrush as well on the Wii U. Well, despite the fact that most people never actually played that game because it was on the Wii U to begin with, so, and the only playable characters you can able to play as, aside from Kirby, you can able to play as Bandetta Waddle Dee. So I guess that's pretty obvious, because that character is actually a lot more popular now, because thanks to the forms of the release. I would classify for saying ever since in Kirby Superstar Ultra, and I think in one of those modes is Revenge of the King mode. I could assure to that, because one of those characters they obviously introduced into ourselves is Bandetta Waddle Dee, so yeah, I guess that's pretty cool. And obviously, they obviously included him from the likes of Super Smash Flash 2, as in the actual Super Smash Bros. Flash game. So yeah, I think I remember playing the first game back in the day, despite it's a bit clunky, and also it has a lot of glitches than the likes of how it does it on well, usually relatively speaking, as far as for that game in general, Super Smash Flash 1 in general is unfinished for what I've found out about it, at least ever since back in whenever I first played that game, back in ages ago. So, I think the first time I played that game was actually in 2007, just a year before Super Smash Bros. Brawl exists, so, at least if I was assuming that correctly, so. Anyway, and another thing they actually brings us into is those pretty cool satisfying bosses, and also the actual hub world itself, which I think is almost inspired by the Waddle Dee town. I think that's what it's called anyway, and I usually think that that was actually a pretty cool idea, but as a result though, I can't wait to see how that's going to turn out. And also in addition to that, we also managed to get ourselves 2 new copy abilities, which, come on, with new Kirby game, they obviously managed to include even more copy abilities. I think there's only 2 of them at the moment, so God knows if they're able to make another copy abilities or something or whatever, but I digress. Okay, so thankfully we did manage to ignore the flump and... No! Oh no! Oh, son of a biscuit! Ah, jeez, it feels like I'm having a rough run on this particular level, despite the fact I don't find this to be all that hard. It's just that, honestly, I wasn't paying attention, so we'll just keep trying anyway. Plus, we've only got 1 more power star left before we take on Bowser for the final time in this game. So, anyways, let's shove this little cube object, just obtain that first red coin there. And I think this will actually be the last time we're gonna able to try to obtain red coins in this game. Well, it wasn't until whenever we get into Super Mario Sunshine, there will be a lot of emphasis on collecting more red coins in general on certain levels. So, yeah, prepared to be tested and stuff like that sometimes. So, anywho though, and those 2 abilities are, I would say, a Ranger copy ability, which, yeah, it does look pretty cool though, for I've seen the actual trailer of it, because I believe this is actually the first time ever, not counting the forms of the Super Smash Bros. Games, because obviously that sometimes they managed to able to use the Nintendo... Oh no! Oh, not again! Ah, I keep on getting myself wrecked, or in this case, OMG sometimes. Ah, that's not good. But thankfully, we've got about 33 extra lives. Well, technically 34, unless if you count with the forms of, you know, when a number gets to 0, this means you still got 1 chance left. So, to be expected with most 3D Mario games, except 2D Mario games somehow. So, anywho, yeah, because now that Kirby actually used the gun so that he can able to shoot as many of those enemies as possible. So, yeah, this is pretty cool though, and pretty satisfying at the same time. But again, mind you, if you don't count the forms of the actual Nintendo Scope item from the likes of Super Smash Bros., because obviously it's a fighting game, and plus it's like a Nintendo crossover. So, yeah, and also any other video game crossovers in general now, because, well, they obviously include third-party supportive characters to the table, so you probably already know about this, so... Anywho, and the second ability which it does manage to contain, which is pretty cool though, I'm not gonna lie, that's what appears to be Drill Kirby, which basically that allows you to able to drill underground, and I think you can able to do all sorts of stuff with the drill ability, such as for instance with the forms of digging underground, and then if you somehow get into underground, you can able to actually just to go around in a circle to able to surround an enemy, and then basically you can able to actually deal the amount of damage to one of the enemies. So yeah, it does look pretty cool though. In fact, that particular copy ability of drill ability does remind me of the combination of, I won't classify for saying an animal copy ability from the likes of Kirby Mouse Attack or Kirby Squeak Squad, and also the spin drill from the likes of Super Mario Galaxy 2, despite the fact that usually in Super Mario Galaxy 2 that it's only like a temporary item, like you can only use it for certain levels, mainly due to the forms if you can able to actually dig through dirt and stuff like that. So like let's just say Spin Dig Galaxy, and oh wow, that was really close. I almost got it full off right there, but somehow I survived, so... Whew. Anywho, so yeah, let me know in the comments below for the question of the day. Are you guys really looking forward to able to actually picking up, or trying to pre-order, rather, of the forms of Kirby and the Forgotten Land, because now we actually finally got the release date for that game, which, as I said, 25th of March this year, so even then though, because I'd like to hear your thoughts, because even then though, assuming if you guys who actually got the Nintendo Switch already, so, whilst usually for me, I've still already got one, so, anyway, so let's go ahead and, leave the level as it is, and because of that though, after when you're able to obtain all 120 power stars in general, you will be able to actually once again access the forms of that particular cannon on the outside portion of the Princess Peach's castle. And from here, we can able to actually shoot ourselves on the actual castle rooftop. And basically, in addition to able to see some more extra lives, there's also Yoshi! In fact, let's go ahead and speak to him quickly. Mario, is that really you? It has been so long since our last adventure, since Super Mario World for the Super Nintendo. They told me that I might see you if I waited here, but I just about giving up hope. Is it true? Have you really beaten Bowser and restored the stars to the castle and saved the princess? I know you could do it. Now I have a very special message for you. Alright, let's see what this says. Thanks for playing Super Mario 64. This is the end of the game, but not the end for the fun. The Super Mario 64 team. And from here, after when you talk to Yoshi, then you would obviously get 100 lives. So, now I believe if you do manage to able to max out your 1-ups, as you can see, mainly 100, lives, and then somehow Yoshi leaves, and then basically, in addition to that though, we can also manage to able to pull off a very special, oh, that was close. Almost gonna get fall damage there. So if you do a triple jump like that, basically you get yourselves a best triple jump. So because of that though, with all this recovery and everything, so yeah, nothing different from the likes of the original game, that's for sure. So yeah, I guess it's pretty much exactly the same. So, and also applies to the forms of how the fact that if you go back onto Cool Mountain level, if you manage to able to take on the big penguin race, and basically the only difference is this time than the likes of the actual base game is the fact that the actual penguin is actually a lot bigger than the forms of how it does it on a normal size if you manage the first time playing the game. So, although it doesn't add anything new on the likes of the forms of, or it doesn't usually count for the actual power star itself if you decide to be able to actually have a rematch against with the big penguin. So, yeah, there's no reward for doing that. So it's just the fact that it's all just cosmetic and all that stuff. But yeah, I think that's as far as I can honestly try to say in terms of the forms of, well, some exciting stuff to able to mention about something like this. Although, mind you, because I think I'll let other toys will actually mention about the forms of what the next tours are going to be from the likes of Mario Kart Tour, because usually, relatively speaking, I just almost about to give up on that game because we really want a next new Mario Kart game. I mean, come on, we've already, waited for so long at this rate, so in this case though, we'll have to wait and see what happens. Enjoying it at some point, maybe in next month in particular, because obviously though we still need to wait for the likes of Pokemon Legends Arceus is about to come out for the Nintendo Switch first. So yeah, I'm guessing I'm also able to guess that correctly. So and obviously that much like in in 2019 and 2021, which was last year, they obviously were able to actually do the directs from February and also maybe at some point in June, if eventually they were able to actually decide to do one from the likes of the E3 this year in online stuff. So even though to be expected. And also I get the feeling there might be another one at some point in this September, just like in the other 2 years. So you basically get the pattern for this point, guys. Especially noticeable about the fact that I'm pretty much used to that, because unlike in the past years, they constantly managed to able to get ourselves a lot of directs back in the forms of in the 3DS and the Wii U era, mainly because, well, somehow that some other games are alright and some of them are perfect, but some games are rushed. So yeah, I thought to myself about that. Alright, time to take on Bowser for the final time in this game, and as always, we need to able to grab his tail and then just try to toss him into one of the bombs. So again, 3 times, and then that's all we have to do here. And well, usually because unlike in the other 3 Bowser fights, that basically that he only has 1 hit point in the previous 2 encounters, whilst in here though he now actually has 3 hits. So yeah, there goes the first hit. And eventually, though, whenever you get into the third and final hit with Bowser, basically, though, he will able to actually make the arena itself become more accurately like a star-shaped arena. So because of that, though, yeah, there goes the second hit. And now we're going to be able to try to deal with him for the final hit. So I wonder if we can able to actually get ourselves a good angle when it comes to, like, throwing him. So... bye-bye! Ah, so close. So close to able to actually decide able to toss him into the actual bombs, but that's okay, because, well, I'm hoping the camera does not mess me around. Ah, dang, I somehow get zapped. Come here. Oh, okay, that'll work. Somehow you just managed able to pass straight through me right here. Bye-bye. And there goes. There goes his third and final hit. So, yeah, let's enjoy the ending for this point, guys. No, you really beaten me this time. Mario, I can't stand losing to you. My troops, worthless. They turned over all the power stars. What? There are 120 in all? Amazing. There was some in the castle that I missed. Now I see peace returning to the world. Oh, I really hate that. I can't watch. I'm out of here. Just you wait until next time. Until then, keep that L stick smoking. Wahahaha. Yeah, this is the actual text bubble, but by the way, that's actually different than the likes of the original version of the game. Because I think in the original game, he did say keep that control stick smoking, and then on the DS remake, he say keep that touchscreen smoking. Whilst on the Switch version, specifically the 3D All-Stars version, he somehow managed to say L stick, which means it's like a left analog stick or the left control stick. So yeah, you get the idea. So yeah, let's watch the ending of Super Mario 64, but with 720p quality.
Stars is restored to the castle. And it's all thanks to you. Thank you, Mario. We have to do something special for you.
Here we go!
Listen, everybody. Let's bake a delicious cake for Mario.
So yeah, no need to worry about the forms of that sluggish 50Hz version of that specific cutscene because it's now, well, smoother as ever. So yeah, that was it for the Super Mario 64 game from the likes of the Super Mario 3D All-Stars version of the game, because obviously this is inspired by the, you know, 1997 Shindu re-released Japanese version, specific version. So yeah, there's that big fat penguin right there. So, anywho, so let's give my final thoughts of let's just say, the Shindu version of Super Mario 64 compared to the forms of the original release of the game. I will say that despite there are some questionable choices from the likes of the Shindu version did manage to have than the likes of the original version, I gotta say, I've actually really enjoyed the Shindu version of Super Mario 64 as well. Well, mind you, this is on the 3D All-Stars version I'm usually playing on, and as a result though, yeah, I'm actually very impressed to see how that's gonna brings out to be. Like, for instance, that the 720p is actually a lot more crisper and a lot more beautiful than ever, and also on top of that, the actual the picture quality looks a little bit more better instead of able to actually become a little bit more pixelated. So in this case though, yeah, this is a pretty cool addition with the forms of that particular. Well, it might be hard to explain because I know it has been a long while since I actually think about the final thoughts of it though. So, yeah, and as a result though, that I've managed to able to enjoy this game again, but this time I can finally play on the Nintendo Switch. Well, mind you, there are two versions of Super Mario 64 every now and then, like I said. One of them involves around the 3D All-Stars version, like I'm still playing, and also the Switch Online membership service. Well, it's only accessible from the likes of the expansion pack, which is a bit of a downside. Well, mind you, that if you already have Super Mario 3D All-Stars, well, luckily for you, you don't need to able to actually access to the forms of the expansion pack, unless if you decide to able to play other N64 games throughout. Like, for instance, Kirby 64, the Crystal Shards, Mario Kart 64, and all the other games in general. So, yeah, you might as well able to actually skip the expansion pack any day because of the ridiculously disgusting price tag. So, yeah, that was it for Super Mario 64 from the likes of Super Mario 3D All-Stars version. So, yeah, I'm really enjoying the game again, but this time around though with a gorgeous HD quality, despite the fact that there's no widescreen support sadly. But aside from all that stuff though, I would like to able to edit this out, but unfortunately it's too late for now. So, and of course, I get the feeling much like in the original version of the game, at least specifically the N64 version of the game, if I press any buttons, well, I can't skip this sequence, unless you decide to press the minus button to able to actually exit the game alternatively, so just like that. So that way you can able to actually leave the game and also see the controls and certain actions and options as well. So yeah, that's a little bit handy and stuff like that. So yeah, that was it for Super Mario 64. So yeah, I'm guessing I have to end things off at this point right here. So join me next time for more of Let's Play of Super Mario 3D All-Stars. That is the fact that we'll move on to the next game, and that is Super Mario Sunshine. But again, as I said this before, there will be a massive delay until on the 1st of June, so keep that in mind. So yeah, I'll see you guys on that specific day. Later, fellas.